So do you want to know how to use the canvas feature in Obsidian? Then this is the video for you. Hey everyone, Matt Giaro here, and on this channel I help content creators level up their productivity. So if that sounds like you, hit the subscribe button now. And before digging deeper into how to leverage the new canvas view, feel free to check out my free note-taking course. It's the first link in the description. So now comes the question, what is actually a canvas? Simply imagine you being in front of an infinite blackboard in front of you where you can write, add things, and map out things the way you want. So this is extremely interesting for people who are visual thinkers, who like to see connections between different ideas, map out projects, and that kind of stuff. And truth be told, I wasn't really expecting Obsidian releasing such a feature, but the canvas view may be a game changer for many users. So since I'm a content creator, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this feature to map out my email sequences, my marketing funnels, and all that kind of good stuff. So the interesting thing with this new canvas feature is that it ships natively with Obsidian. So as you can see, it's directly enabled within the core plugins right here. So this means that you don't have to install any third-party plugin. And if you're like me, you simply like to keep your Obsidian installation clean and simple. Okay, great. So right now I'm here in my demo vault to show you exactly how this works. So the first step is obviously to create a canvas. So how do you do that? Well, there are several ways. The first way is obviously to head over to your command palette and simply key in canvas, and you can create a canvas like this. The other method is that you can go to settings and then head over to hotkeys, simply look for canvas, and then you can assign a hotkey to create a new canvas. So let's assume I want to assign the hotkey command 9, right? And if I right now press command 9, it will automatically create a new canvas. So as you can see on the left hand side, a canvas is created and you have this little mention here, canvas. So it's not technically a note, it's simply a file that renders the different notes that you're going to pull into the canvas. So this is obviously the first step. So the second step right now is to give your canvas a title. So let me be very creative right here and simply name this demo canvas. Perfect. So right now, let's just start playing around with the canvas here. So obviously, what we are going to do is we are going to use this canvas to display our notes. So there are different ways here to pull your notes into a canvas. So the first and the probably easiest way is simply to find your note here on the left hand side and simply drag and drop it into the canvas, and then you can always rearrange them later. So the other option is to simply also click the button here at the bottom. So when you click here, you can simply search for the note that you want to add. So as an example, this note right here. And you can do this with as many notes as you want, since this is an infinite canvas. You can obviously also add media files from your vault. For that, simply click on this button right here and then simply search for the image and hit enter, and then it will automatically also add this image to your canvas. As you can see, obviously I can drag and drop, rearrange them, but I can also play around with the different buttons that I have on the right hand side here. So as an example, zooming in, zooming out, zoom to fit, and obviously also enable the grid snapping. So when I'm going to play around and rearrange it, it will, as the name suggests, snip it to the grid. I also have an undo and a redo button. So these are basically the basics. So right now that I have my media files and my notes inside my demo canvas, what can I actually do with them? First of all, I can play around with the dimensions. So I can enlarge them horizontally and vertically. The second thing is that I can set a specific color for a specific note. So this could be extremely helpful if, let's say, you want to group notes with a certain color code and so on. And if I click on the borders, as you can see, I have this little dot appearing, and this little dot indicates that I can create arrow to another element here in the canvas. And the interesting thing is I can do this in several ways, and there are also several arrows that can go out from the same point. So as you can see, I can use this in many different ways. So I can also do this the other way around, as you can see here. So this is quite interesting depending on the work that you want to do. So the other interesting thing here is that you can directly edit the note within the canvas. So let me just open the same note here called My First Note in another tab here. Let's go back to the canvas and simply start typing something right here. The interesting thing is that you're going to see that this will automatically show up in the note itself, because again, the canvas view is only a view, so it still works with your plain markdown files that we all love inside Obsidian. So another interesting option here is, as you can see, that you can add a card. So what is actually a card? Simply think as a card as kind of an indicator to what is going on in your canvas. So let me explain. So let's assume that this node is all about stage number 1. What I can do is I simply create a card and write in stage number 1. And as you can see, I can also bold it and add different styles to it. And then actually what I can do is like put all the nodes that are on stage number 1, let's say, on this specific card. Or let's say if I want to map out something and we are waiting for a reply, then I can simply key in waiting for a reply and then simply add my other node just right here and simply map this out with arrows like that. Obviously, if I want to rearrange, there are also different options here. Like there are, let's say, very common sense option, like you can select specific elements in the canvas and then drag in and rearranging them. So all in all, let's say if you want to delete everything, select the elements that you want to delete and hit the delete or the delete key on your keyboard. So all in all, this is very simple stuff, very intuitive. The learning curve is pretty quick, but one of the biggest mistakes could be thinking that the canvas view replaces the graph view, and that's not the case at all. So if you want to learn how to get the most out of Obsidian with the graph view, then be sure to check out the video that's popping up right now.